everybody. Welcome to the Adapted Life podcast. This will be season 1, episode 10. I call this Inside the Cracks Where I Slip Away. So, oh boy. Watching my son grow up, my son meaning Daniel, my special needs son, has been really such a blessing. It continues to be a blessing every single day. He is just a brave, very brave young man, having faced so many issues, illnesses, surgeries, difficulties, and he's always smiling despite all of these things, right? Just giggling, laughing, and just accepting all these happy moments as they come and go. It's really beautiful, and he's 24 years old now. With age has come a deep look back on how we got here, Daniel and I specifically, and why it's so important for me to share this story. It isn't any kind of a fairy tale or an altruistic tale of all miracles and hope. It has been a journey that has been very mentally challenging in the most telling and extreme ways. Having set my identity into a bin in the basement somewhere, right, behind the Christmas ornaments, tucked it all away. I have achieved but never used a master's degree that I worked so hard to attain. I have cried so many tears. I never thought that I would ever experience all of these tears that I have cried. I've dealt with extreme anxiety and depression, diagnosis of very painful fibromyalgia, so the physical pain becoming unbearable at times. I've experienced conflict in my marriage relationship, just life and finances and, conflicting things. Everybody goes through stuff, but it's just been really hard. I'm wondering who I am all the time, look in the mirror, right? I try to think about it, and then I find myself pulling on my sweatpants or my leggings, a sweatshirt, pulling the hair up in a clip. If I haven't even showered for a couple of days, it wouldn't be unusual. Just getting on with life, life of managing the physical care of my son, diapers, Hoyer lift, wheelchairs, bedding, laundry, medication, equipment, and then just being responsible for all of his entertainment activities, education, exercise, outings, all of everything, and then managing all of the things that need to be done, and managing the nursing care and the people coming in. Anyway, in between the cracks of caregiving for Daniel and also loving him beyond measure. I mean, there's just no end. I mean, I just want to make that clear. He is the world. But in between, I do glide into spaces sometimes where I can see the light of just me, my own creations, my own ideas, right? The things I admire about myself outside of the role of mother or caregiver. In those cracks in between is when I pick up a camera, or I start to, just talk about things, or I start to write about things, or I start to draw or paint or play music. In those cracks, I'll sit with my computer and I will type madly because I'll have some idea about something and I want to get it out before my fibro fog sort of makes it all wishy-washy. And then sometimes right in the middle of whatever it is that I am enjoying, I get called back by a cry or a piece of equipment sounding an alarm, or someone just hollering to me for something, or the dogs are barking and I don't know, the delivery man is here, things like that. Just all of the daily things. And I turn away from that crack. I step away, turn away, and it closes up on me. The stops and starts are a part of most special needs moms' existence, of any parent who deals with this kind of situation, really, but especially so when you have a loved one who needs you literally 24 hours a day for 100% of every facet of life other than sleep. The cracks are breaks in time where, for some blessed reason, someone else is helping you and you're gifted with just a little glimpse into the light of you that you truly yearn for. and you miss, and you don't want it to go away. So you step in and you step out, right? Okay, so he's taking a nap now. Great, he's good. So quick, go edit that video, or quick, go into the computer, check all of your statistics, see how things are going. What little things can you do in this little break you have? Can you sustain this and actually begin to build a new you with this kind of back and forth? Can you take your experiences that you marvel at and you cry over as you look back and apply those to lessons that might actually be beneficial for someone else to hear? I think so. It's the reason why I'm here. It's the reason why I'm doing this. It's how I got here, you know? So to these words on this page, these words from my voice, all of this is why. I see in between the heavy responsibility and the homebound isolation that there is a me, aside from the selfless, love-based caregiving role. There is a me that is still just me, but someone else who is just a little more tired, a little more encouraged at the same time, but one that knows that nothing has been wasted. Love has been given over the past 24 years, specifically and beyond, but given and given and given. And in the lessons that have allowed me to break free of my depression and my self doubt, I start to find this Julie who sparkles a little bit and shines despite the growing wrinkles on my face. Inside my deepest self, my intuition guides me to do the things that I'm doing. And I find this like self-love and gratitude that I have this sort of other dimension of myself. And self-love has been a hard journey for me. Most of my life I was a little insecure, uncertain, unsteady. I had a lot of self-image issues and other problems, and I'm working on all of these aspects of a really dedicated self-care promise that I made to myself and in my connection with spirit to really honor and be grateful for all that I have, including the most important thing that I have, which is myself. you know, your soul, your entire being. I am starting to see a different me every day when I look in the mirror, and it's something I enjoy. So, in between my caring for my son and my caring for my family and my caring for my physical self and my mental self is my emerging open creative energy that is yearning to just grow and expand. I feel like a cocoon of endless ideas, right? I'm inside this thing. I'm like an incubator, right? Just starting to open and a little bit more and more. And the more it opens a little bit more, the more I can do. And I feel like the more I do, the more the other side of my life seems to sort of adjust. Like I'm not letting anything go, I'm not neglecting, but I'm just finding other things that help and ways to work around. So I am realizing there are more and more ways to bind our moments together so that both caregiving me and independent me can speak to each other and embrace and learn from each other and take these lessons into the realm of each space. So, in between, right? Facing a lifetime with a child who won't ever live independently at all is a completely separate definition of parenting. Kids usually grow up, right? They go on to their lives. They don't typically stay with you under your care. They start to become independent very young, right? As soon as they start to move and do things on their own, it's just a progression. But for now, I am slipping in and out, in and out of the moments of bright, beautiful meaning with the cracks of my life. In that light, I vision plan, practice gratitude, craft ideas, write down examples of how I've learned to get through things. I explore, I read, I try to connect with others, I meditate, and I just don't know sometimes, I'm like, how have I done this? I've gotten through minutes, hours, days, weeks, years, decades of being hyper vigilant all the time to the needs of another person. It's pretty incredible. And that's just that's just something incredible. So, I say to my inner self, "Whoa, look what you've done. That's a lot." Don't self-doubt yourself, Julie. Don't do that. So, I know deep inside me that if these cracks where I slip in and slip out ever just kind of open up to one dimension, it means that there is no longer a Daniel. And I don't, I don't go there. So I need to adapt my desires and my goals and my inspirations and my loving, creating, nurturing, earning, providing inspirations to the limitations of every day and try to work around the unique situations that just pop up, right? Boom, 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 all the time. They just sprout up and you just go with the flow. And at the end of the day, you might not have done half the things you wanted, but you did some good things. So yeah, it's okay. I want to give him the best life possible. I know that already as a better version of me, I'm growing. So little by little, I'm not going to give up. I tell myself that every day. I'm not going to give up. My intuition tells me to embrace my calling and to look for my soul's true purpose. And it gifts me with these little moments like when a nurse is on duty and Daniel is well cared for, or when Daniel takes a deep nap on the weekend, or when Daniel and I bond together on an art project. Moments of clarity, moments of just seeing beyond, right? Being grateful for all of these things that we are able to do together. Somewhere deep inside me, I long to share the message of how much love there is inside a young man who can never speak, write, dance, do anything. I am his voice. I am his pen. I am his legs. I am his connection to light and to universe. He loves when I sing to him and say his little prayers. He'll try to mimic my voice and he'll touch my face. So, like a bridge, we provide the ease of life over all of the challenge that typical people face. So, he doesn't have any of those challenges. I bear those for him. I carry those for him every single day. That is my role. So, by teetering back and forth between who I am and how do I do this better, and I feel so tired and weary, but I cannot turn away. And what else am I going to do? What am I going to learn? How am I going to apply this to my journey? That's the kind of questions that I ask myself in the in betweens of the normal throes of the day and those bright spaces where I can just dig into who I am. And right now, I am in the crack. And when I'm in my office here, inside a place of flow, in the zone, so to speak, like that movie Soul, where the guy's playing the piano, and sometimes you just get so caught up in it that you can just flow, and you're actually in this like space, sort of floating. And that's kind of what it's like. So where my hands just want to fling words out to you as fast as they can while I'm writing and typing, or as I'm sitting here in front of my camera, right, speaking to you and recording myself so that somehow I can do something with this, feeling like what tears are welling up in my eyes. Life is so beautiful. And life is even more beautiful when you have been able to kind of overcome your fear and come to the other side of your really deep sadness and difficulty. And you look back and you're like, I only see light and love flowing from my heart. I look back and I'm like, hey, it was really hard, but look where it's taken me. Caring is kindness, and most of all, it's just pure, generous, loving kindness. The sacrifice isn't really a sacrifice. When you can start to see that the part of you that you never knew existed before has arisen because of your situation, and it's the best part of you, it's the real part of you. And that's pretty amazing. So you really, really love and admire the you that you're starting to see because you've adapted your life to allow that person to emerge. And that's what's happening. That's what I've gotten out of looking back over the past years and years and years of what I thought was supposed to be to what it is now. And it's hard, and I think it resonates with anyone who is in my shoes. And sometimes I ask some of my In one of my support groups that I started when Daniel was a baby, now he's 24, but there's new moms and dads in there with little ones. I asked, what challenges are you facing now? And it's very interesting because the parallels are uncanny in the beginning. Um, Anyhow, I'm just here. I am existing in this universe of endless existence, sliding in and out, different versions of myself, fearful of the pain and loss and the pain of anger, learning how to live from love and not fear, joyful at the smiles and laughter I can elicit from my son, and amazed at how many miracles I have found right here in my own house, right here in my own yard, right all around us. Oh, they're just everywhere. I am blessed to have a family of loving support. And then I slide back into taking vital signs, ordering enteral feeding supplies, grabbing sensory lights, creating an underwater haven of peace in Daniel's room. Back into taking my little dogs outside for a nice peaceful walk around the yard, ordering groceries from Instacart, making dinner. Well, normally normally John does that now, so God bless him. But, helping with dinner. And then sometimes I can then slide back again into meditation, connection with my soul, or even just watching something on Netflix for a few minutes. Maybe it's like a back and forth, like waves on the ocean. And I love the ocean, rocking and calming, bringing me out and back softly and gently as I am performing duties and then looking inward and then performing and looking inward. These duties of love for my son, like a gentle ocean on a calm day, usually. Sometimes it's a hurricane, but when I'm inside the cracks of my creative spaces, letting my mind just flow, I see that I have so much work to be done. And it's so hopeful. It doesn't feel like work. I know that I can find a way somehow to fill the voids, the stress of the financial issues, right? Find some kind of purposeful entrepreneurial project that will actually help my family and help others and bring some kind of source of support to my situation, which has been very challenging. I don't get paid for what I do, even though it would be lovely. Taking care of somebody 100% of the day when you're the mother, you don't get any income for that. It's like you're just this free nurse forever, right? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I believe that it's going to come, that through manifestation of abundance, that we will be taken care of. We have been so far. It's not always what you think it, should be, or what you would, like to have, like more comfort and less stress, but it's okay. I see that there will be grand changes coming as I proceed and grow with my ideas. I'm trying to manifest more success, and then ideas just pop up like little daisies in a bright summer meadow, right? Pop, 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 pop. And I want to reach out to that other mother somewhere, sitting in her house, feeling like her tasks in her life is just so overwhelming with caring for her loved one or her child. She looks around and she feels like nobody understands her and that she's just so stressed out and so isolated. She faces expectations from other people that are simply too much for her to meet, and nobody understands her. She puts her education, her career, her dreams on hold. She puts them into her bin in her basement behind her Christmas decorations because she can't go there. Because if she goes there, it's just too big of a disappointment and it's too stressful because she can't do both things. She can't have a full time career away and also take care of a very, very disabled, medically fragile child or person. She doesn't think she's ever going to have time to be that person she envisioned before. And then the guilt and the selfishness lays heavy like a weighted blanket. So, yeah, so the guilt and the selfishness, I mean, it lays like a weighted blanket for the bad feelings she has about her caregiving, because sometimes you have bad feelings about it and it's like, it's too much. It's too hard. I mean, I've had times where I just break down in there with Daniel, and where like all of a sudden my back hurts so bad and it's like burning from my fibro, and it's just too hard, and I just cry. So I know how she out there in the world, meaning the collective universe, all of the she's, he's, those, I want to reach her and tell her to look for those little cracks in between. Take those little moments, and even if they're just 5 minutes, to just close your eyes and breathe, or take a little walk outside, or I don't know, watch an episode of The Bachelor. Whatever those moments are that make you feel like yourself, hold them dear, those little moments. Even if they're very small, and just treasure them, because that's what will bring the light back into your eyes. Your little cracks will grow, and she'll realize that in spite of herself, she can realize herself in spite of the daunting. I'm reading like dyslexia. This is why I'm just trying to read my thoughts so I don't lose them. So forgive me. She can realize herself in spite of the daunting battles that special need parenting hurls at her. At times, the weight is super hard, but in those moments of enlightenment, maybe an idea will pop up about how to get just a little bit more help or do something a little bit more easily, so she can do some self care. It is possible. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're less hard. So we don't have to live a life of servitude and selflessness and exhaust ourselves into misery and poor health. But I just want to add in here, it's really frustrating for special needs mothers when people say to you, "Oh, if you don't take care of the caregiver, you can't take care, you're not going to be a good caregiver. Take care of the caregiver so you can care for others." It's just such a platitude, and it makes me bonkers, because it's like, don't say that to someone who's so tired, because they probably realize this. It's just that they need to really work on a lot of self-love and other skills, and is just not helpful. Obviously, if someone's not taking care of themselves, they kind of know that, I would think. Anyway, just my 2 cents, because it's happened to me a lot, and I'm like, okay, I don't need to hear that. You're not helping me. That's not helping me. Anyway, so we can figure out a way to adapt ourselves to this isolation, so we don't have to be isolated. Here's my hand. How can I help you um, out there? How can I connect and be a community? Dear, sweet, burdened friends that I don't know, I am truly in awe of you. See me in these cracks in between, because I think we both need each other. I'm finding ways to manage in this life, inside my home, inside my heart, inside my podcast space. In the clicks of my writing and the words of my videos, I'm finding a way closer to making sense of what has happened in my life. I am slipping gently into the cracks in between, where for now, my real truth and my wholehearted self dances and welcomes me to create and dream and build and be loved and plant seeds and grow flowers and just live with intention and self love and listen to my intuition and capture all of these exciting ideas and build on them little by little and do something more and more and more. And then I slip out because I have to do the tasks, right? The tasks I do every single day out of enduring love and compassion and kindness and motherhood, and just eternal love for this child who I brought into the world and who means everything for my son. And those are the cracks, the cracks, the little cracks. This is my ebb and flow. So I am accepting of this. I'm willing to open up little by little as love allows, as the time is right, to step further into this Julie. And the more I find, honest to goodness, the more grateful I am for these little moments, the more I see more little moments. And the little moments become so sparkly and happy, or enlightening, or educational, or they give me sort of another way to do something financially, and I'm like, whoa, just willing to open up little by little as love allows, as the time is right to step further into this Julie. The Julie that is in the bin in the basement behind the Christmas decorations is kind of just a thing from the past. It's kind of like the old stuff that you just really don't need anymore. And when you go to sell your house, you're like, why is this even here? I don't need this anymore, right? So that bin can go back to the back. It is not relevant anymore. What's relevant is right now, the Julie who is here, the Julie who is talking to you. Realizing all of this is the light shining from behind those cracks. The cracks are opening ever so slowly. The light is in there. The light is in me. The light is in you. The light is love. It is our birthright. It is our connection to spirit and source. And in us is everything that we can imagine. And that's how I'm turning and understanding where things are going. So, enough about this for today. I think, down the road, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've been doing that have actually practically helped me in the sense of, what I've done to earn some money from the projects that I do and in a wholehearted way. It's pretty amazing what you can come up with these days with some light and love and, some time in your own space. So I am so grateful, even for this 26 something minutes that I've had to sit here in front of my Zencaster and record this little podcast. So I hope that if you're out there and you're someone who is caring for someone else and you find a little brief moment to listen to this, or even if you're someone who is, able to do other things, but still you're responsible for somebody else, or even if you're someone who just wants to connect to getting through problems. And I don't know. I think friends are great, no matter who they are. So the more the merrier. And I love this community. Any ideas are always welcome. So you can find me on my YouTube channel, and you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on where else am I? Facebook. I'm all over the place. So I hope to connect. Let me know if you've heard the podcast. I don't. It's very, very new. This is a new project, so I appreciate all the support and the downloads and the kindness. And I just want you to know that, adapting life to a difficult circumstance, it does take a village, and I'm here for that. So that's it. I will be back next time for episode 11, and I wish you a bright and beautiful day. Thank you. Do-do, 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 do-do.